We are.
This
now.
is it.
Now people can hear you. And my watch is going to blow up with all the Twitter stuff.
Perfect. My watch isn't because it's not a smartwatch. I just can tell the time with my watch.
Because it's a fossil. Yeah.
So, this is it. This has been years in the making, kind of.
Literally.
So welcome to the Zang Podcast.
I'd clap, but it'd be really loud for you guys. Sorry.
That'd be terrible over this mic. So we've been trying to think of something to put together for close to 4 years now, I think.
God, has it been that long?
Yeah. And we've been back and forth with like YouTube channel and like Instagram pages and Twitter pages.
The pops,
yeah. Oh my goodness, the pops.
Pop drop. Good times.
R.I.P. But we finally got this live and running. This is the Zang Podcast. I'm Dakota. I am the non-tech savvy portion of this duo.
You're the voice.
I'm the voice.
You're
of
the
duo.
voice. You're the talker.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm just here for technical support.
Yeah, so Cody is the brains behind this outfit, like Timon and Pumbaa.
That would make me
Timon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to be insulted, but then I realized, wait, Timon.
Timon is the self-proclaimed brains of the outfit.
Yeah.
But yes. So I guess we'll just introduce ourselves so people have an idea of what they're expecting. So like I said, my name is Dakota. I have a background in radio. I went to college for it, actually. I have a bachelor's degree in radio broadcasting.
Which still baffles me.
Yeah. And this is the first thing I've ever done even closely related to it. I am Harry Potter and Spider-Man obsessed, so you're going to get plenty of that. I love tattoos. I love hardcore music. I'm a Boston sports fan, so a lot of that's going to get talked about as well. Maybe not so much the sports side coming from this direction,
yeah.
But
by all means, like I'll step out. You know.
Maybe we'll have a sports section in this at some point. Who knows as this goes on. But yeah, I think I've covered all the dirty deeds on me. The basics on me.
Well, I'm Cody. Hi, how are you? For anybody who may or may not be watching. I'm a nerd. This is actually all my stuff. Aside from the nerd stuff, I like death, hence the skulls. Yeah, get at me, son. Deadpool fan here. While I enjoy Spider-Man, Deadpool is definitely my thing. And then things like this, live streaming, just entertainment in general, I think is great.
Right.
So, and the tech side of things. Being techie, that's me.
Yeah, dude. There were so many buttons in this room when I walked in, I got scared.
A lot of knobs too.
No.
That has a lot of knobs.
Buttons and knobs.
But you've seen it before.
Yeah,
You've been there.
I know, but it still makes me nervous because I just feel like I'm gonna break something every time.
Yeah, don't worry.
See, he just looked at a light, and I got really nervous because I thought like something went wrong.
Oh no, I was actually looking at the mixer switches there. Because I was wondering if my low is all the way down, because the low is what picks up the fan. So as long as that is down, we shouldn't be able to hear that.
Okay.
Which should be nice.
Got it. I'm going to pretend I understood everything you just said.
Yeah. You and most people I know.
So let's jump into it.
Because we've been waiting all day to talk about this shit.
Yeah. We've been going back and forth. So I guess spoiler alerts, because that's just what a lot of this is going to entail. But let's start with Game of Thrones. Let's just do it.
The topic of everybody's discussion.
Every discussion, all the memes, everything going down. Let's just start by saying, holy fuck, Danny. My goodness.
So my first thought with Danny in this episode is power play.
Okay.
Like this is like her asserting her dominance. Her saying, nobody's gonna cross me.
Yeah, but there isn't anybody left to cross her, I feel like, at this point.
But I don't think it was so much like the kingdom as much as it was the people she was working with. Because you look at Jon Snow, who clearly is in the running for the throne.
Right. Okay.
All these people that she's kind of teamed up with and expected them to just kind of give in. I think this is her saying, remember what happens if you don't. Like, this could be your family next kind of thing.
Dracarys.
Yeah.
Dude, Dragonfire all over the place. Well, I guess who the fuck knows what's gonna happen next episode? Because nobody really
It
knows.
is the last one.
It's the very last one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Did we start this as a fucking awful title?
Right.
How
many 7 seasons we could have been talking about this?
Yeah, and now
pretty much the very last episode we're jumping in.
Yeah. I used to back Danny. I used to be all about Danny.
I think everybody was.
Like, yeah, but
and for those that are watching that are Cersei's people, leave. Just go. Don't even bother.
Yeah, fuck that. Dude, how can you back anybody that fucks their brother? I don't get that. Like, I'm good on that.
You say that, but then look at Danny and Jon. So, and she's the one sitting there saying, "Oh, I love you." Like,
yeah.
Can we just forget this?
But they're not brother and sister. That's his aunt. It's kind of it's a weird.
I mean,
flex,
yes,
but,
that is weird, but at the same time, uncle and or not uncle, but aunt and nephew, still in the family tree. I don't care what you say.
Get it, girl? I don't know. I think someone is gonna, probably Arya, to be honest, because Arya is the biggest badass on that show at this point. I think Arya is gonna make a move to kill Dany.
See, I'm interested to see what happens with her just because of the end of the episode, and just going through Twitter, I saw somebody say, "Oh, that like the horse that she takes off on, oh, that was her brother. That was Bran. Like sent that, was waiting there for it." Which, first of all, I kind of can see because that horse was extremely clean for a horse that's standing in all that ash and debris from all that fire. Yeah,
and calm,
and extremely calm.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a meme that said Bran sent her an Uber.
Yeah,
for Winter.
I think that's probably what it was. I saw that and I was like, "That's a good point." That probably was
so good.
But the fact that he's able to then control,
right,
makes it kind of even more believable.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's probably what it was. Let's talk about the fucking Hound and the Mountain. Oh my god.
You mean Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Higher ground, man. Take the high ground, bro. Brutal.
Just I'm sorry, but the moment he took off his helmet, I was like, fuck, Darth Vader's back. Like, isn't Star Wars coming to an end or something like that?
Man.
Like,
yeah, actually, yeah. But, actually, speaking of that, I read somewhere that the writers and creators of Game of Thrones, since Game of Thrones is done now, they're hopping on to work on new Star Wars movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I did see somewhere that like they had already planned out like the release dates for future Star Wars films, but that was pretty much it. So that'll be interesting to see. I also did hear that because Game of Thrones was such a big thing that they're actually going to write books on it now.
Well, I mean, like they're gonna make new ones because the whole series is George R.R. Martin's.
Well, and see that was my thing because I think it was actually my grandma, she was the one talking about it, and I was just like, "Aren't these based off of books?"
Yeah, they are.
And she was like, "No, they're not." I was like, "I'm pretty sure they are, but you keep." But she was talking about how like, I guess they were talking about changing the ending and everything. I was like, "Well, you would have to because everybody knows what happens."
Yeah, it's gotten to a point because like George R.R. Martin, who started writing these books in like the late '90s, and he was like, he said something about like how he's probably going to be writing them for another like 5-10 years or something like that. And here we are 20 years later, and he hasn't finished them.
Yeah.
And the show has overtaken the storyline that's in the books. It's gone past it. So he might have to write the book just to like catch up.
Yeah, maybe that's what she was talking about is the books that he's going to be writing. Like they're changing the ending of it because the show surpassed it. So now nobody's going to want to read the book because they know what happens. So I think now it's starting to make sense.
Write a book, alternate ending.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big show. Yeah. People love it, so of course they're gonna want to read it. Dude. I personally will not be reading.
I might.
Yeah, but you're the reader.
I am the reader. It's so hard to find time to read these days. It's so much. Now, speaking of that though, continuing the whole Game of Thrones thing, since Game of Thrones is actually ending, HBO is going to be releasing a documentary of the making of Game of Thrones, and it's going to be like a multiple part series.
Mm-hmm.
And they just released a trailer like yesterday or today for it, where it's like they show the whole cast at like the final table reading and everything, and like
everybody's crying.
Yeah, everybody's crying. Kit Harington, the guy who plays Jon Snow, is just like bawling his eyes out. There was one like little cut scene in the trailer where it's like them filming and they cut like, all right guys, that was Emilia Clarke's last scene. Like that was her final scene filming for Game of Thrones. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole cast is just like clapping and just crying. It's wild, man. So while we're not getting Game of Thrones anymore, we're gonna get that behind the scenes, and like just it's crazy because every episode that they did, it's a full hour and a half episode, especially this last season,
mm-hmm.
has had like the makings of an entire movie essentially.
Yeah.
So wild, all the stuff that's gone into it. So I'm excited to watch that. That should be fun. And then, like I said, writers and stuff are moving into the Star Wars cast. So we're gonna have new Star Wars movies, I guess.
Well, I mean, it is great writing because
yeah.
it definitely, it definitely at the end of every episode, you're just like, God, I want more, and like, God, what's gonna happen next, and oh my God, kind of moments, which. I mean, it still plays into movies, especially ones like Star Wars that are going to keep going. So you know at the end of these Star Wars, you're just going to be like, when's the next one? You know?
I think the only thing about the Star Wars movies is whenever I go into Game of Thrones, I have like one idea, one attitude,
mm-hmm.
and I'm not going to have that same one idea, one attitude when I look at a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
And the first thing I think of when I go into a Game of Thrones episode is, all right, A, who's going to die? And B, who am I seeing naked this week? And I'm not seeing anybody naked in a Star Wars movie.
I don't know. They could surprise you.
Yeah, right?
Be the first rated R Star Wars.
Obi-Wan, you're my only hope.
Oh my God.
Plot.
Yeah. I really hope it doesn't go that route.
No.
I'm gonna hope and pray it doesn't.
No. I'm gonna keep going with the whole the whole movie thing right now. More spoilers, but I think at this point we are a week and a day removed from when the creators of Endgame said, okay, the spoiler ban is like over. That was last Monday when they said spoiler ban's over.
Yeah.
You're free to post.
Yeah.
Right? And we're a week and a day removed from that.
Okay. Which is great. I think that more like people involved in movies and TV shows should announce that.
Right.
Because people are just assholes.
It's super cool that they did that.
Yeah.
Obviously. So Endgame.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
I am crying. I cried the entire time.
I can cry the entire time, but I definitely had goosebumps the entire time. It was crazy.
From opening scene to like final scene.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
That opening scene took it to heart.
Yeah.
It definitely did, because you're just like, oh God.
Yeah.
I forgot. Like you forget, but at the same time you remember what happened at the end of Infinity War.
Yeah.
And
it's so funny because everybody was like, where the hell's Hawkeye?
Yeah.
Where the hell's Hawkeye? There was so much talk about where the fuck is Hawkeye, like after these movies and everything. Not from like people like us, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then with just that freaking like 2-3 minute scene at the beginning of Endgame, everybody's like, fuck, there was Hawkeye.
Yeah.
No more questions. That's it. Just like, boom. That sucks.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I can imagine does.
Yeah.
You stand there and you're with your family. Your entire, like, not even just like half his family. His entire family.
That's all he's got.
Because that was the thing, is it was like, somebody was asking me like, oh, like, how does it choose, you know, who gets taken? And it's like, it doesn't. It's just, it's half of existence is gone.
Everything.
You know, and so for your entire family to just be washed off the face of the earth is crazy.
3 kids and a wife.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. And I knew immediately. As soon as he like called the kid.
Yeah.
There was like no immediate answer. I was like, oh my God, they're all gone.
Yeah.
This was the snap.
Yeah. This is the continuation, and it was a good continuation. It was a very good continuation, where like, because I mean it goes from the end of one movie straight into the beginning of another, and they don't have to explain like a gap or anything in there, which I thought was awesome and brilliant, just as far as movie making goes.
Yeah, especially with something so big.
Yeah.
Oh my god, like it's hard to keep the continuity going because there's so many freaking movies in the Marvel universe, or the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then they all kind of like mix and meld, and like they're released in a different order than when they should be watching, but the continuity is still there. It's crazy.
Which, I mean, in Endgame, there's a lot of references to all those past movies. So, you know, props to them for not only involving that, but keeping that consistency as well with the number of movies that there were.
Right.
So, I mean, that was pretty impressive.
I want to go through and I want to watch them all in like the correct order. Right. I mean, in chronological order. It's gonna be so difficult, but
worth it though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Best things about Endgame. Let's talk about that. How about Professor Hulk? Loved it.
I thought that was hilarious.
I love Professor Hulk.
Which I gotta remember not to watch this around the girlfriend because she hasn't seen it yet. So.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was supposed to take her, but we'll see. Professor Hulk, great one.
Yeah.
And I laugh at that because she hates him. She's like, I hate the Hulk. I'm like, oh, well, you're gonna, because she doesn't hate the Hulk. She hates the guy that plays Bruce Banner. And I'm like, oh, you're gonna love him even more in this movie. Man. I was like, something happens to him that's just gonna.
She just doesn't like
top notch. Yeah. So.
I love Mark Ruffalo. It's actually kind of funny. One of my friends, he mentioned how much he hated this, but I thought it was great. And a lot of people have taken a positive spin on it, and I think it was cool. Fat Thor. Or Dad Bod Thor.
Yeah.
As I like to call it. A lot of people are like, oh man, you know, they're using somebody who's overweight at the expense, you know, just for comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that's really what they meant by it. I think they just wanted to show that even the strongest Avenger, because that's what he's supposed to be, is vulnerable in some way. You know what I mean?
And so you get Fat Thor, and it's a good laugh, and I'm sitting there watching the movie, and it's going through, and in my head, I'm just thinking, at any point, he's just gonna have his weapon, like, electrocute himself, and he's gonna be back to the fucking, like, fit six-pack, you know, like, just destroys everything Thor. Yeah. And the fact that they kept him in that shape the entire time just made it so much better by the end. Like,
yeah, no, because they want. I think they wanted to show that it was okay that he was like that. You know, it was okay that he wasn't okay.
Yeah,
really, which I thought was really cool. Black Widow dying, sacrificing herself for Hawkeye or Hawkeye's family, essentially.
Yeah,
damn, brutal.
Which I mean, I understand from her perspective. I mean, Hawkeye has this family. If he sacrifices himself and his family comes back, they now don't have him. Yeah. So for her to do that it just kind of shows the level of friendship that Hawkeye and Black Widow had. I say that because of that whole that scene where, you know, somebody comes to get him and he's walking out of the bathroom like washing his hands and shit, and everybody's like, oh my god, they just had sex, and I'm like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the whole Black Widow thing has been bounced around a lot, like the weird romance that she had with Bruce Banner and stuff.
Yeah.
In previous movies, that was strange. But
that was strange.
I think it's cool that she did it. She sacrificed herself for really the only family that she ever knew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which was the Avengers. So that was cool. What else was also doing good? The battle scene at the end, where it was all the females of Marvel.
That is where I got the most goosebumps, and that was one of the scenes, was where all the ladies are together.
Yeah.
My biggest beef with that though is the fact that Captain Marvel didn't need that.
Oh yeah, no.
Like she literally could have just like blaze on and fucking flew through, you know. That's when Captain America looks at her and goes, "What'd you just say?" Like,
yeah. Oh man, yeah, that was wild. She just freaking came out of nowhere and wrecked everything, It sucks. Like, it was part of that feels like a slight cop out, because I guess she's like all over the galaxy doing so many other things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she shows up and 30 seconds later, battle's over.
Yeah.
Just blasts herself through the enemy ship, and yeah, we're good to go, guys. Let's roll.
I'm gonna do something here because.
What are we doing something here?
I'm checking. I'm gonna go onto the Twitch site and see. I just want to check levels, and it's super hard for me to like. I can see the bar, but I'm super worried that maybe I'm loud and you're not.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna. But continue to talk.
Okay. I will do my best.
And if people hear this coming through my phone, it's because I have to. Okay.
We're troubleshooting. Okay. This is. Hey, look at that! It's like a loop. That's weird.
Well, I mean, there is a delay.
Yeah.
No, you sound good.
Cool.
All I had to hear was the
Thanks, man.
But with you sitting across from me, it's like I can hear you, but also hear, so I can't tell which is louder.
Right. I get it.
But we're good. We're
Cool.
okay. A-okay.
Mm.
Why did they say A-okay? That doesn't even make an A. Right? Yeah.
Okay. What else is? I mean, I think obviously the biggest part of that movie. I hope nobody's listening outside these doors, but Tony.
Yeah.
Tony dies.
Which, and we kind of touched base on this. His funeral. The kid, the random ass kid that nobody, literally, and nobody knew because when I Googled it, it instantly popped up. Yeah. Like it autofilled. That's how many people were like, "Who the fuck is this kid?"
Who's this kid?
Like,
yeah, the kid that what was that? Iron Man
3. Yeah. The kid that helps him with his workshop, get his like suit all back together and stuff, and then he's like, "Oh, by the way, I upgraded your shit a little," and
yeah, so
it's all decked out.
That was a cool cameo. Love that. Let's talk about the Stan Lee cameo. Oh, it was so good.
it was good, but I'm gonna say wait. I'm thinking of the wrong one. Is this the one where he's on the bus?
Yeah, he's on the bus and he's reading the script from.
No, I was thinking of the one from Captain Marvel. I wasn't a fan of that one.
Oh, where he's driving.
Yeah. And it was so quick and like it was just like, oh okay. It really didn't have any point. Right. It was just him kind of driving by just to have that cameo.
Yeah.
Endgame, yes.
Yeah.
Favorite one by far.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that he's not only in the movie, but the fact that he's reading a Kevin Smith. And this is me just geeking out over Kevin Smith stuff because I love all his work.
Yeah.
And the fact that it kind of contributes to that too, because I mean, he was in fact in Mallrats.
Yeah.
And so just the play off of that, I was like, yes, this is the greatest one ever.
Yeah. Not only is it an homage to Stan Lee, but also Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
So that's super cool. I think it's cool that they did it that way.
Yeah.
Big moment. Cap with the hammer, dude. Mm-hmm. I think we all knew it.
So I had this discussion with somebody. Did he pick up the hammer or did he have it fly to him?
It flew into his hand.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So I can hear the doors. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I could have swore when I watched it, I remember him like picking it up because it kind of like levitated, and so I was like, oh, they're it's like off screen. He's picking it up, and it's showing just the hammer. But
no, I'm pretty sure like
consensus is
he had like his shield and just like and that's my Captain America impression for the day. No, super dope, super dope, and the fact that Thor almost cried when it happened, like out of joy. He was so excited. And then there was that one point where they were like fighting next to each other and they switched.
Yeah.
And Thor was like, give me back that one.
And it's like, no, you take the small one.
Yeah.
That was great. I liked Thor commenting on it and like sitting there and he's like, I knew it, because it, once again, going back to a movie that was years before it, was it the first Avengers? The first Avengers where they're in the room and the hammer's laying there, and like they're all trying to like pick it up.
It was the second one. It was Age of Ultron.
Okay, so the second one, yeah.
Yeah.
But Cap goes to do it, and it starts moving, and Thor's just like, oh god, like he freaks out. So once again, they're going back to old movies, just on point, on point. And that's the thing, is it's those little things that like nerds like us that have been following all these years, that remember all these movies. Watching Endgame, you're just like, holy shit, I remember that. That's from my first Iron Man. Like you're watching it going, oh god, that's a mention of the first Thor. Yeah. Which I thought was great.
And that being said, like, I think it's cool that we have a movie franchise now that we can nerd out about. Because for so long, it was just the comic books.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there was like a few TV series when we were growing up, but we now have like arguably the biggest movie franchise to ever hit the game, and we can nerd out about that too. So that's really cool.
Well, and the fact that it's so well done, because I'm a Marvel fan, and I'm not just saying this as a Marvel fan, but Marvel Cinematic Universe compared to the DC Cinematic Universe, DC is very low on the budget scale as far as that goes, and Marvel is just killing it.
Destroying them. Sorry, my phone's blowing up because of the NBA draft lottery and Twitter for our podcast, so that's exciting.
Yeah, I keep getting vibrations for that too.
Good vibrations, if you will.
Cue sound effect. No
buzz.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I was expecting it, like that's when you push a button and it just goes good vibrate and starts singing the song.
And we bring out the dancing lobsters.
Right.
Now, moving forward here from Endgame, okay? Because there's, as far as we know, no more Avengers. Tony's dead. Chris Evans is no longer Captain America. That's over.
Yep.
Maybe they're going to do a new Avengers. Whatever.
I wholeheartedly believe they will.
Yeah. But next thing coming up, my boy, Spider-Man, Far From Home. Okay.
Which I'm gonna admit, I still haven't seen any sort of trailer or anything for.
You haven't watched any of the trailers?
I saw a poster. Yeah. When I went to see Endgame, and I was like, oh yeah, like that's still coming out, but I haven't watched any trailers, nothing.
Okay. So there's two. Okay. The first one, it's kind of weird. Like there's no you don't really know what's going on. Like you don't have any premise to what this movie is. Okay. All you know is that, oh yeah, Spider-Man is going on a trip with his friends to like Europe or something, and Nick Fury meets him there, and like for some reason Mysterio's there as well, and like Mysterio's like a good guy and needs Spider-Man's help, and you don't really know what's going on. Strange.
Yeah.
And then after Endgame got released and they lifted the spoiler ban, the new Spider-Man trailer hit, the second one, and it ties in with everything that happened at the end of Endgame. It's Spider-Man being, oh man, I miss Tony so much, and Happy like bonding with him about that, and then it's a lot about Spider-Man taking on the responsibility of Iron Man.
Continue. I just had a thought, and we're gonna get on it. But continue with your Spider-Man.
So basically, what it is like, Tony left behind this legacy, and that there was that like father-son kind of dynamic between Tony and Spider-Man near the end there, and it was about Spider-Man like stepping up and taking over Tony's kind of whatever you
role.
That being said, there's mention of the multiverse again.
Okay.
So are they going to delve back into it? Are we going to get more Spider-Man like we did in the cartoon movie, which, by the way, Into the Spider-Verse was the best Spider-Man movie to ever come out. I don't care what anybody fucking says.
I have to agree with that. I do. I mean, the new Spider-Man and these movies, with the Avengers, they're great movies. As far as the live action ones, they're probably the best. But Spider-Man altogether, I agree with you. That animated movie was on point, and just
so good.
Like the vibrancy, the just everything about it was great.
The vibrancy, the animation style, the backstories of all the different Spider people. The fucking soundtrack was dope.
Yeah,
like
I did like that soundtrack.
So great. Just the incorporation of like Brooklyn culture, like because of like where Miles Morales is from.
Yeah,
so good. Anyway, I digress. So I'm gonna give a shout out to one of my homies, Brendan, because he hit me with this like weirdest thing at like 9 a.m. in the morning the other morning. He texted me. He's like, "Hey man, I had a thought." So I'm gonna read this. I'm giving you the credit though, Brendan. Okay, I know you're all the way back in Maine right now, but this is for you.
Shout out to Maine.
Throwing this out there. Okay. So he goes, "I had the weirdest thought last night as I was going to sleep about Far From Home, the new Spider-Man movie." He said, "So Mysterio is from another reality. Do you think he's maybe lying and trying to find another iteration of his wife who died?" Again, reference to the multiverse. "And if he's lying, maybe Nick Fury is maybe fooled, or maybe Nick Fury is the chameleon. Because in the new trailer, Mysterio and Nick Fury are working together." Okay? So, what if Nick Fury's chameleon? So, that'd be dope. And then he says, he goes on to say, "I kind of think Mysterio is a pawn to make Spider-Man do something to maybe enact the multiverse. So let's say Nick is the chameleon, and if he can get Mysterio to befriend Peter Parker, maybe Peter is important to keeping the multiverse open with an algorithm or like the Iron Spider suit or something. It's like something along those lines." And that would make more sense because, you know, it doesn't really like, I don't think it plays in any storyline that I've ever seen before that Mysterio is just a straight up good guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that would be an interesting twist on it, I think. I would love to see the chameleon. I would love to see more Spider-Man villains done well.
Right.
Honestly,
Yeah.
because I feel like we keep just losing them. In the original like Spider-Man movie series with Tobey Maguire, we had Green Goblin, which was it was a metal suit.
Yeah.
We had Doc Ock, which was done okay, I think. And then you had freaking Sandman, and then Harry took on the Green Goblin thing, and those were garbage. Oh, and I think I forgot to mention it because I tried to black it out. Freaking Topher Grace, Eric from that 70s show is Venom. God damn. Talk about terrible casting. I'm sorry. I love that 70s show, but I don't look at Eric Foreman and I think, hey, that's Venom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like that's any role he plays.
Yeah.
Just and maybe it's because that 70s show kind of like ruined him for everybody. But every role I've seen him in, I'm like, no. Like, unless he's this twitchy, nerdy, you know, skinny teenager, I don't want to see him.
Right.
So,
and then,
I definitely need to watch the trailers then.
Yeah, they're so good. They're like so good. And then what was it? The Amazing Spider-Man series. You had Jamie Foxx playing Electro.
That's literally the only one I can think of.
Oh, it was so terrible.
Yeah.
It was so terrible. And then the first one was the Lizard, the Doctor.
Lizard. Yeah.
And Doctor, like the whole Kurt Connors thing was cool. I liked that. And I think that might be the best one that they did. And then like at the end of the second Amazing Spider-Man, there was that thing where like they weirdly introduced Harry and he was like turning into the Green Goblin or Hobgoblin, and he looked fucked up. Yeah. And that was cool. And then they scrapped it and it was gone.
Yeah. Well, I think also like present day, like their CGI game has improved phenomenally as far as Marvel goes, and just their villains and everything. So I think that going into the future, I think we'll see better villains. But yeah, that's just my take on it.
Right. So I don't know. All that being said, Jake Gyllenhaal as a Marvel villain, as a Spider-Man villain, it's Jake Gyllenhaal. I don't know how to feel about it yet. Marvel hasn't really disappointed me much in their casting as far as like the actual Marvel Cinematic Universe, because those other Spider-Man movies, they were owned by Sony. Those weren't part of the MCU. The casting was garbage. Like, I get that. As far as like Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Avengers, all those.
Yeah. Yeah, they have
solid.
They have definitely been on point. And even with just like their side characters too. I mean, you look at
Ant-Man, Black Panther.
Yeah.
All of them. So great. So great. So, Far From Home. I'm excited. Really, really excited.
I can tell. Although it's Spider-Man, so you're always excited.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, for God's sakes, the only Pops you still collect are Spider-Man. So
very true, dude. So we used to have so many Pops, right? Between the two of us,
so many.
We probably had like, I don't know. I want to say somewhere in the 600 to 800 range.
I had 2 full bookshelves.
Yeah, I think like at one point each of us had like we had full bookshelves, and then we had boxes of them and stuff just sitting around, and like we were like getting rid of them here and there. But I think at one point, probably when you had your mouse and I had my mouse, we probably had like 600-700.
Yeah,
total.
Definitely.
I sold so many. So many. I got rid of everything that wasn't Spider-Man, and I sold them all for like $1,000.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Ooh. Keep talking. I'm listening.
It's such an expensive habit. I went and saw Detective Pikachu the other day.
I have not seen that.
And it was cute as hell. Let me tell you. Of course, Ryan Reynolds is the voice of Pikachu.
Yeah.
And I think we all can appreciate that because
Man Crush Monday.
Yeah, he's your Man Crush Monday, and he's Deadpool. So,
yeah,
which is great.
Which when I found that out, I was just like, yes, I have to see it now.
Right. So I saw it. Okay. I'll give you the rundown. I'm not going to do any spoilers because you haven't seen it yet. Because this leads me into my next topic as well directly. So I went and saw it, and it's really cool to see all these Pokemon in the live action movie. Yeah. Okay. Just because I think, as 90s babies, we've been kind of waiting for this for a long time.
That is another thing we have to touch on, because I was talking to somebody at work today about what a 90s baby was, and I want to get your opinion real quick.
Okay.
Born in 88.
Right.
31 years old.
Yep.
Grew up in the 90s.
Yeah.
Total 90s baby. You bring on popular 90s products, I'm like, yes, I had that. Yes, I wanted that. Yes, I drank that,
Exactly.
And the discussion is, what makes you a 90s baby? Is it growing up throughout the 90s, or is it being born in the 90s? Because the person I was talking to was born in 97.
Okay, the person born in 97 is not a 90s baby. Mm-hmm. You know why? Because they don't remember anything from the 90s.
And that was my conclusion too. I said, kids don't remember anything before 5. Right. Like, you were 3 when the 90s ended.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
You can't be considered a 90s baby.
Yeah, I was born in 91. Yeah. So, like, everything from the mid-90s on. Yeah. I was there for.
But you still remember part of the 90s, which would make you a 90s.
Exactly.
And that's what's funny is, so I was standing there and I pulled up my phone and I literally searched like popular 90s products, and it was a list, and I just started going through this list, and it was like Surge Soda, the Lisa Frank stickers, things like that, and
hit clips.
Yeah, and Josh is standing there, and as I'm reading these off, he's just like, oh my god, I was like, see, 90s baby. Yeah. I'm like, you're a 90s baby.
And he was born...
He was born 89.
89, yeah.
So, because he's a year younger than me, but... Right. It's a discussion that I've had with several people, and... God, I really don't want to drink this, but I'm so thirsty.
I know, right?
There's so much talking. So much ice.
But... Okay, so we're settling it here right now on the Zang Podcast. 90s baby does not entail being born in the 90s. It entails remembering things and growing up throughout the 90s.
Yes, that is my conclusion as well. Okay. And that is what I'm sticking by, and that will not change.
If I had a little hammer, I'd hit the table.
Gavel. I need a gavel. That'd probably be really loud.
Yeah, exactly. So back to Detective Pikachu real quick.
Before we get off the topic of Endgame, because here's the thought I had while you were talking.
Oh, yeah, you had a moment.
Because you mentioned Happy, and, like, with Spider-Man and everything. Happy, at the end of that movie, is sitting there with Tony's daughter.
Yes.
And, he's like, what do you want, kid? And she's like, pizza. And he's like, I'll get you all the pizza you want. Cheeseburgers, right. Yeah. Something that'll make you fat. Here's the thought I had. Because while you're talking about that, and I'm thinking of Happy sitting there talking to her, I'm remembering that in the comic book series now, Iron Man is a girl. And I don't follow the comic book series, so I don't know for sure if maybe they explain that. But as far as the cinematic universe, maybe she grows up to be the new Iron Man.
Maybe.
Who knows? That was just a quick thought I had.
Yeah. Also, Pepper Potts has the Iron Man suit now too.
Yeah, but I feel like it'd be a better story if it's his daughter. You know, like, oh, I'm taking over after my father. Like, you know, he died. You know, all that stuff. Yeah, same. I have like the hard ones in right now.
Oof.
Plug life.
Yeah, this is gonna be weird for anybody who's just listening. We're like messing with our earlobes because we both have our lobes stretched.
Yeah.
And like the over the head headphones are slightly uncomfortable, but you know, we'll get over it.
I'll have to remember to either put in my silicone ones next time or just take them out like I do when I live stream. So.
Yeah.
But anyways, Detective Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu.
Back on track.
Yeah. So super cute. We've been waiting for a live action Pokemon movie forever. It was cool to see all those Pokemon. I felt really old because I looked at some of these Pokemon and I was like, oh my god, I don't know what that Pokemon is.
Right?
It's crazy. And then like there were parts of it where I was like, really, we're doing it that way?
Yeah.
But it's geared towards children.
Yeah.
I had to keep reminding myself that. So take that with a grain of salt, I guess. But super adorable.
Yeah.
And
how was the CGI for you as far as the Pokemon? I mean, I've seen the trailers. I've seen what Pikachu looks like, but as far as like other Pokemon,
dude,
you know,
so great. There's, I think my two favorites, Gengar.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Gengar scene. I was so hype about it. And there's a Charizard scene.
Mm.
And okay, let's do top three: Gengar, Charizard, and Gyarados.
Okay.
Live action.
So, I'm excited for the Gengar one.
Yeah.
As a
Ghost,
you know,
Ghost Pokemon.
Ghastly Haunter Gengar.
Yeah.
Fan.
It's so good.
Yeah, because let's be honest, if Pokemon were real, God, somebody's going through groceries like me. If Pokemon were real, Psychic and Ghost. That's where I'm gonna be that creepy child in that episode that's just like that has the Alakazam that just sits there with her doll and is like, you do your thing, and that would be me. Yeah, that'd be so great. Oh, can't wait.
Such a freaking nerd. Now, okay, so the reason I brought up going to see Detective Pikachu, is because there are a couple movies coming out that I really don't know how to feel about, and I'm kind of upset about. Okay, we'll start off with the one I'm least upset about first. Okay. Because I'm just gonna build up to how angry I am about this. Okay.
Incoming anger. Got it.
Yeah.
Prepared.
Live action Disney movies.
Oh God, no.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
okay. They're doing a live action Lion King. All right. I know we just got into this whole thing about how excited we were about live action Pokemon, but doing a live action Lion King, there's no fucking people in Lion King.
Yeah.
To break that up.
Yeah.
It's all CGI.
Yeah.
It's just beating a dead horse. Lion King is, for me at the very least, and I think probably on a lot of people's lists, top 3 Disney movies ever made.
Yeah, if we're going top 3. Yeah. I thought you were gonna say your top, and I was like, no, not.
No, it's top 3 at the very least, top 5.
Yeah, if we're talking like your classic Disney movies.
Yeah.
Because I had this discussion recently with somebody, and I was like, you realize like Nightmare Before Christmas, like that's a Disney movie, and that's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, for sure.
Hence the barrel, and the lock, shock, and barrel.
Yeah. But so they're doing a live action Lion King movie. Granted, they did get James Earl Jones to voice Mufasa again, which is cool. I get it.
That voice though.
Yeah, I know. Panties dropping all over the place.
Right? Just for the voice. Dude's got to be like 103 years old.
I know, right? Voicing Darth Vader, voicing Mufasa.
Well, and then like hearing him even in Sandlot talk, you're just like,
oh yeah,
dude, your voice. Like what?
It's crazy. I don't know how people have that, but yeah, not excited for the new Lion King movie. Not at all.
Well, because they had Jungle Book already.
Yeah. And the live action Jungle Book was garbage.
Yeah, and
I'll say it now.
I watched that, and I remember the whole scene where he's in the village of monkeys and orangutans and everything. And I remember watching that and going, holy shit, this is crap.
Yeah.
I was like, and I think at that time I didn't expect or think or hear anything about them continuing to do live action Disney movies. So my thought was, this is crap. I really hope they don't continue this. And
sure enough,
now they are.
Here it is. Yeah. Oh, and also speaking of crap Disney movies, Frozen sucks. Okay, and they're making another Frozen, and fuck that movie. That's all I have to say about that.
You don't want to build a snowman?
No, I don't want to build a snowman. Everybody should just let it fucking go. Okay? Yeah. You see what I did there?
Yeah. I see what you did there. Very clever.
Yeah. Okay, the one I'm really pissed off about, though. The one I'm... Oh, jeez. The one I'm really mad about is because this is my favorite Disney movie ever.
Aladdin?
Aladdin.
Yeah. Which, you know, Will Smith can't save that.
No, he can't. And I think that's one of my biggest problems with it, honestly, is because I don't know that I'm ready for anybody to touch anything that Robin Williams ever did. Ever.
Yep. And I have to agree with that.
No, nobody's gonna fuck with Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody's gonna fuck with Flubber. Nobody's gonna fuck with Patch Adams. Nobody's gonna screw around with Dead Poet Society. Good Will Hunting.
Oh god, that was such a good one. I love Dead Poet Society.
Good Morning Vietnam. Like, there's gonna be no remakes of any of these movies. Because Robin Williams is a fucking legend.
Yeah, and always will be.
Yeah. And
it's one of those things that, like, as the kids get older, we're gonna be like, watch this. Yeah. You won't regret it, kind of thing.
And now here we are, staring a brand new Aladdin movie in the face, where Will Smith is the live action genie, and he is the only actor in that movie that anybody recognizes.
Yeah.
Which, like, I don't mind that. I don't mind that he's the only actor that everybody recognizes, because it's based in Saudi Arabia, you know, and all the cast is like that nationality, you know, which makes sense. And then just fucking Will Smith, save it.
Well,
like,
it's because he's blue. You could cast anybody,
right?
Know, so
I don't know, man.
You're heartbroken. I can see.
I'm really bummed about it. I want to be excited because I love Aladdin. It's my favorite.
But that's the thing, is I think it's also because they're classic Disney movies and they were so good that you're just kind of like, this kind of ruins it, you know? Yeah. Like, and yeah, we talk about Detective Pikachu and things like that, but Detective Pikachu is, I don't know, that's different because it's not like they're going, okay, we're going to take these episodes from the Pokemon TV show and we're going to remake them. Detective Pikachu is like its own thing, you know, so it's kind of okay. And that was my biggest thing with like Jungle Book, is watching those scenes, and I'm sitting there and in my head I'm comparing them to the animated series, to the cartoon Disney movies that came out and that everybody knows and loves. And when they change something, you're just like, well, that's not how it was. Like, why change that? You know, the fact that, from what I recall, the big, what was he, an orangutan, the like head monkey?
Oh, King Louis.
Yeah, in the live action, it seemed like he just kind of sat there, like he was too big to do anything, and so he just sat there. Yeah. Whereas in the cartoon, that's not the case. Like, he's swinging around and singing and all that shit.
He's the craziest one.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's coked out for sure.
That is another topic. All the adult things that were added to Disney movies that everybody talks about.
Oh yeah.
The Lion King. Oh, he jumps into the flowers and it spills out sex, and it's like, yeah, well, if you pause it at the right moment and you trace a line, sure, you can see it, but it's not something that, you know, of the be all of be all for this is the golden dildo and Little Mermaid on the cover.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, if you look at it close enough and you got that stuck in your head, then sure.
Yeah.
You know? But they also were made by adults, so.
Yeah. Like, that'd be funny. Just like, gold dildo.
That's something I would do, though. I'm sitting here working on this like kids movie, you know, and yeah, I'm really excited and proud of it, but I'm gonna be like, you know what? Let's just slide this in here. There's a little gold dildo for y'all, and that's kind of the route they went, and I'm okay with it.
I don't understand how we got into gold dildos, but here we are.
Disney movies.
Yeah,
Live
Disney
action.
movies.
Detective Pikachu. We got really off topic.
Yeah.
That happens though.
I have one more thing about Disney movies. Just one more thing.
Didn't you say there was 3 things you hated? I feel like you only went through one. You said there was like layers of things you hated, and you were gonna start with the one that you hated the least.
Oh yeah, no.
And then
The one thing
up.
the thing I hated the least was the Lion King one, and then the one that made me more mad was Aladdin.
Oh, okay. So those were 2 separate things.
2 separate.
Okay.
Things.
I was under the impression that was one.
No.
You too? Yeah,
I
that's what I thought.
saw a meme earlier today. It's a picture of Ariel, and it's a picture of Moana.
Okay.
And it says, "Who's the real queen of the sea? Let's argue." Here's the lead comment. Moana left her family to save her village and the ocean. Ariel left her family for dick. Don't ever disrespect Moana of Motunui again.
That is very true, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
let's be honest.
And
Ariel was kind of a bitch.
I think we're just gonna leave it as Ariel was a hoe.
Yeah.
That's it.
She wanted legs just so she could spread them.
Yeah.
If you think about it, she got legs, ended up on land, and what's the first thing she does? She finds a dude and just I'm gonna marry him and have sex.
Gets knocked out. It's the American dream, man.
It really is.
Oh man, I don't think I've ever had so many people like a tweet.
It's the hashtags. It really is.
It's the hashtags. It's whatever. Okay.
You use certain hashtags and you'll get them all day.
So that's all I've got left on movies. I know I was really long-winded as far as the movies went. I'm so sorry, but yeah,
we're an hour in. The beautiful thing about this is we could talk as long as we want.
Oh, we already did an hour?
Yep.
Jeez.
55 minutes and 53 seconds. Yeah.
Dope. I didn't think it would go this long.
Well,
that's what she said.
That's gonna become a regular thing on this show.
Yeah,
and you know it because it's a regular thing in life.
Because it's Tourette's on my end. I can't help it.
It's not Tourette's on my end. I just think it's really funny when people say something and I can associate it to sex.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess. So 2 things. I'm a Boston sports fan. Okay, so Patriots, Boston Bruins, Boston Red Sox, Boston Celtics. Right. Today's a very important day in Patriots fandom history. Okay, I just want everybody to know that it is Rob Gronkowski's 30th birthday today. So shout out to my boy Rob. Dirty 30. Retired at 29 years old.
Yeah, right.
And he's out there living his life. 30th birthday today. Just killing it. So happy birthday, Rob Gronkowski.
Hey, if you're watching this, make sure you leave a like, comment, let this boy know.
Yeah.
Biggest fan over here. You see the table lift up a little. We all know why.
It's definitely my boner. In case anybody was concerned or was confused about what that meant,
or had questions, or
my boner would hit the table. Last thing that I have on my list, and I sent this to you earlier because holy fuck, this looks disgusting.
Oh, right. The image that I couldn't see on my Apple Watch.
Yeah. So, Domino's.
I don't think I read the whole thing.
Is doing a Hawaiian spaghetti pizza. Where is it?
Okay.
It looks so disgusting. So
I didn't read through this whole thing when you sent it to me, and now that I'm reading it, it's really funny.
Right. I guess Hawaiian spaghetti's a thing. It comes in a can. So they launched it in New Zealand apparently.
Only in New Zealand.
Yeah. This pizza has teamed up with manufacturer, I think that's Waddies, to launch a new limited edition Hawaiian spaghetti pizza. The pizza has canned pasta, pineapple chunks, glazed ham, and mozzarella cheese on it. Okay, there is fucking canned pasta on top of this damn pizza, and somebody thought this was a good idea.
I mean, people get fucking one of those little fishes on their pizza all the time. Sardines.
Or
Yes,
no,
that's
no,
it.
anchovies.
Anchovies. Yes,
I fuck that up all the time. But yeah, somebody thought canned pasta. It looks rough, dude.
Well, and that was my concern. Is it does say the canned pasta and pineapple chunk pie, no self-respecting New Yorker would touch, will run $7.99.
Yeah.
And so the fact that it is canned pasta, because when I saw it, all I saw was spaghetti pizza. I was like, oh hell no. And then I open it and it says pineapple, and I'm like, oh hell, like I eat pineapple on my pizza. That's disrespectful to somebody who on a regular disrespects other people by getting pineapple on their pizza.
Yeah.
Like that's the ultimate disrespect, because it's always the controversy is, oh, do you like pineapple? Nobody likes pineapple. I love ham and pineapple pizza.
Yeah. Okay, just so we're clear, I don't. Okay, I want everybody to know that this is a pineapple on pizza man, and I am a not pineapple.
And that's why I always get my own pizza. It doesn't matter how big the group is.
Right.
I get my own pizza.
And that's genius. But I like mushrooms.
Okay, but
my go-to is mushroom and black olive, so I always get my own pizza as well, which is fucking dope.
I mean, mushrooms and black olives is kind of a weird combo.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you to my grandparents for putting me onto that one and like raising me on it. Because if they didn't, I probably wouldn't like it. But that's why I always get my own pizzas.
So my favorite, after like now that I've read the whole little bit that you sent me, is my favorite part is that it says, but it's only available in New Zealand for now. So that could be taken one of two ways. For now means eventually New Zealand's going to be like, what the fuck were we thinking? Why do we still have this? And they're just going to cut it off. Or it's going to blow up so big and people are going to be so interested that it's going to then be available in other countries.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes me concerned for America. Cause,
right. What I want to know is like,
we love that kind of shit.
Why New Zealand? Why did they launch it in a country that has like 37 people?
Very true. That's their test run.
Okay.
You know, they're going to see if all 37 people order it, and if like half of them don't, they're probably not going to continue with it. Yeah.
Solid.
I think the fact that, you know, going back to the fact that it's canned pasta.
God, dude.
Like canned anything is just.
Let's just put this in American perspective for a second, okay? Let's just say, hey, Domino's. Here's a can of fucking SpaghettiOs with hot dog chunks. Let's throw that on top of a fucking pizza. How does that sound, guys?
Well, and that's the thing is, it's not just like, oh, here's this put on the dough that makes a pizza. Like, you know, they're putting like pizza sauce, they're putting the cheese, like, so that's essentially saying, hey, let's take the SpaghettiOs and hot dogs, make a nice pizza with the cheese and everything, and then dump it on top.
Dump it on top.
So that way you have two completely different flavors now meshing together. Yeah. Which SpaghettiOs I haven't eaten in years. Mainly because I'm not 5 anymore and they're not being force fed to me. Yeah. Like I can make real spaghetti. Yeah. You know. But canned anything. Yeah. Like canned corn's disgusting. Canned anything.
Yeah. But yeah, bad move on Domino's for sure.
Yeah,
and that sucks because I like Domino's pizza, and like I wanted to give them some kind of credit. But
well, I mean, just because they have it doesn't mean you have to order it.
I know, I know that.
But I do understand, you know, like it's a bold move on their part, definitely. And maybe that's why. Maybe it's because people love Domino's so much. I personally enjoy it. But I think the Pizza Hut cheese crust pizza probably up there to contend with it. Not Pizza Hut pizza at all. Like all of it. It has to be the cheese crust. Otherwise, it's just not worth it.
You see they brought back the pizzone, right?
No, I didn't.
The Pizza Hut calzone? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. They brought it back. I might go do that.
Just in time for my diet.
I already ate dinner, but I might just go do it.
Just to have it.
Just cause. Why not?
Yeah.
I've got nothing else. I've exhausted all of my topics of discussion.
I mean, that's kind of the point, isn't it?
For the week at least.
And that was something I thought about too when we were talking about it and kind of planning everything, and it was finally going to happen. I was sitting here like, I swear to God, I've gone through puberty. I swear. Like that
it's
was
finally happening.
was this, per podcast, do you talk about everything you have available, or do you save it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I want to think that like something will happen within the next week that'll bring up new topics of discussion.
Well, I mean, Game of Thrones, obviously.
Yeah, at the very least, Game of Thrones, and then at least one fast food place is going to do something stupid.
Taco Bell, we're looking at you.
Yeah.
Because the only time I eat that is when I'm fucked up.
I ate Taco Bell the other night as a last ditch effort because I got home so late from work and I was just like, I'm done.
On Saturday?
Was it something like that? I don't.
That's what I do when I close. Like, I'll leave work and I go to McDonald's and I'm like, I hate McDonald's, but that late at night, I'm just like, it's the only thing open on the way home. I'm so tired that like I just want to get like swing through the drive-thru and go home.
Yeah, get something in you. Yeah, I have no more topics of discussion. You know what? Maybe we should end this with like a piece of useful information or advice or something. And I've got it.
What do you got?
I've got it.
Because I got no advice.
It's not advice, but it is a piece of useful information. Okay. If you're anything like us, which will be helpful if you're listening to this podcast because you would enjoy it if you're anything like us. But one of our favorite movies is on Netflix right now, and I just realized it last night.
I was like, there's a lot of... Oh, Gremlins?
Yeah, Gremlins is on Netflix right now. So if you guys have a chance...
Seems like they're slowly adding things leading up to Halloween, because Freddy vs. Jason was on there. Like,
so good. Jason X, Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah, there's so many horror movies getting added, which I'm about. I mean...
And to be fair, it was in the horror section.
Yeah.
When I was scrolling through Netflix, I was like, Gremlins isn't a horror movie; it's a Christmas movie.
And that's how I feel. Like I watch it and I'm like, I'm not scared by any of this. Like it's just a good movie.
Yeah.
You know,
dude, the gremlin in like the microwave and in the food processor.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, that was another one I thought because they released like the new ones. I thought about buying the pops for it, but I was like, you know what? I have the OG ones. Yeah. I'm just gonna leave it at what it is. So.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
that's this week. We did it. This is our first one. So, if you didn't watch now, we're gonna export it onto YouTube.
Yeah. It'll be available 24/7.
Yeah, and then hopefully we'll push it to other streaming services as well, so you'll be able to access it there. Just bear with us. Keep an eye out on the Twitter, on our Instagram,
which I'll have to give you the info for too.
Right.
That way, if you need to tweet out something, you don't have to go through me.
Right. That works.
I don't like being in the middleman.
So yeah. Again, I'm Dakota, and
I'm Cody.
That's Cody.
Hi.
And thank you for watching, listening to the Zang Podcast, and we will catch you next week.
Yeah, we will. Later, guys.